Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports with Monga. Well, I think I did the opposite way. I did the Red Bull one first, but then the Haas was the first car launch for the 2023 season. I think I should add that to the banner as well. But then, well, that's it is. It's 2023. So car launch Haas F1 in the black livery. Pretty interesting to watch them. Like, of course, it basically is from the from the fact that they've had a new sponsor, which is MoneyGram, and the American finance company, and also Palm Angels. We know that Haas has had issues with the sponsorships over the last couple of seasons, going back to 2018 when they had the issue with Rich Energy with a very kind of anticipated launch, and that didn't go well. From the immediate moment that the sponsorship was even announced, it almost felt like it could just break any second, and it did. In the break, not at the proper second it was announced, but then during the mid-season it was announced that they were going to break. The partnership didn't work. Of course, that took some Haas F1 team to kind of go back. Haas is definitely owned by Gene Haas, the Haas Automotive company from the US. But then that's not the only investment that Gene Haas has. So he's been very prudent about the money that he's spent in Formula One. Of course, it's a heavy kind of budget intensive business. Formula One. It's not easy on the pocket. And then he did struggle with financing over the last couple of seasons. Of course, then also going with Nikita Mazepin, the Mazepin family, kind of Urukali, giving in, sponsoring the team for the majority of the 2020 season. Of course, that was kind of withdrawn from the war in Ukraine, started by Russia. That led to some consequences of kind of letting go of that sponsorship. And it's been pretty hard for Haas last season. Of course, it's been good in a way of the drivers, as I for Formula for Haas. So, like, for example, we did see that Kevin Magnussen, the K-Mag, the Danish Viking, coming back into Formula One. That was pretty nice to see. That was exciting to see as well. From a fan's perspective, from a very fan base perspective, that was really nice to see them coming back. Of course, he was backed up by a rookie, but not a rookie. But then he did one season before him with Nikita Mazepin. But then in terms of Kevin Magnussen, he did feel to be a rookie there. Of course, we're talking about Mick Schumacher, a big name in the Formula One paddock with the surname that he carries, but then he could not hold momentum and was then let go of. He was let go from Haas. That did happen over the over the last season. Of course, now drivers for 2023 is Kevin Magnussen with the number 20, and Nico Hulkenberg with number 27. Gunther Steiner is still the team principal. Of course there is a big beef between Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg, which was pretty much talked about the minute Nico Hulkenberg was announced as the second driver with Kevin Magnussen. That everybody was like, okay, you said something really bad to each other. What happened? Like, come on, they're grown-ups. They do know the business. They do know the job that they're into. I wouldn't be surprised with them having any problems. Hulkenberg was, of course, a super sub that would come in for anything regarding Aston Martin. He did drive last season twice because he was called in because of the drivers not being well. Sebastian Vettel not being well, and yeah, and that was kind of that. But then he's been waiting. He got married as well last season, so he's a settled man. But let's see how this kind of goes into the 2023 season. I'm really excited about them, but I'm really hoping that they can kind of punch above the weight. They did in the start of the season 2022, but they did lag a lot after the first half of the season. It almost feels like the focus had shifted to 2023, but then they had a good delivery at the start point. It will be interesting to see in Bahrain, can they light up those screens and kind of add some excitement around Formula One, and in the paddock, as always. That'll be interesting to see and how this goes. Mick Schumacher, of course, was retained by Mercedes as the reserve driver, and that was kind of that's good. That's a good end or to like the saga that was happening with Mick. And it's also interesting to see like Ferrari is still the title sponsor or the engine partner for Haas, and Ferrari, the way we saw them kind of improving last season, could be very interesting to see how this goes. But let's see, do Haas kind of come out of the bottom, because that was with Williams and fighting with the, or can they punch above their weight and go and fight with the midfield a little bit more? It will be interesting to see 2023. I like the driver pairing. I like the driver. At least they will not have any rookie errors of cars kind of with spare parts and kind of everything on the budget cap being very strict. So that was one of the issues with Mick that they had, was like there was a lot of crashes, not to his fault or due to his fault, that they could not contain or kind of understand. And of course, it's better to have a driver pairing that's better and more experienced than to kind of go with a rookie, because that gives you more money, because it's marketing and so on and so forth. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this Haas Formula One team launch, car launch. Nothing special there. The black livery, I like the way that's kind of settled. But then it'll be interesting to see in Bahrain how they light up in the screens. Let me know in the comment section below, and see you in the next one. Enjoy.